Check.
Yo, Secret House against Tokyo-based hip hop art and culture stuff. You guys recognize me and Jet per usual. We're back today with just one album discussion, but it is a wonderful. I don't know if banger is the correct term. It is an intricate piece of
a head
magic.
nodder.
Yeah,
it's
fucking magical.
A ruminator.
Yeah, something for that ass. All right. Yes. So today we're back. We're first shout out to the new patrons. Shout out to all the people who support us. Thank you guys for checking out everything on the channel. We've had a couple interviews, a couple conversations with Castro, Shrapnel. Also, What's Up with the Minute? It's been going lovely. If you'd like to hear more discussion-based type of stuff instead of album reviews, but have no fear. Jed and I are fucking recording, and we're going to be discussing albums. We're getting to this one a little bit late. It came out on September 26th. As you can see by the title, we're discussing the new Human Error Club and Kenny Segal collaboration, Human Error Club at Kenny's house. This is a little bit unlike some of the other projects that we do. We particularly touch on rap albums, so to speak, while this one is more of a jazz bass plus MCs plus vocalist artists on this.
Unlike, or rather, like everything we've reviewed in the last year or so, it came out on backwards, so it still counts.
This is a backwards album?
This is a backwards release, yes.
Well, I promise we don't do it on purpose.
They're just really, really good at this.
Yeah, the best.
But yeah, this is a backwards release, so there is still some line of connection joining this review to some of the other stuff we've reviewed in recent memory.
Very cool, very tight. Again, it is the Human Error Club and Kenny Segal. What we like to do is we like to discuss how we know artists. Everybody that's ever watched our channel once or twice should know that we're very intimately familiar with Kenny Segal's work. We're huge fans of a variety of his collaborations as well as his own solo music endeavors. It goes on and on and on and on. Speaking of which, there's a new .dev, formerly known as Pink Navel.
That's right.
And Kenny Segal's project that he did with him 2 years ago. One of my favorite albums. Also the collaboration with my man Kiki, K the I. One of my favorite albums.
Who also features on this record.
Also features on this record. And so yeah, Kenny Segal, amazing, wonderful. As far as Human Error Club, let me tell you guys a little bit about them. Human Error Club is a trio. It's Diego Gaeta, Jesse Justice, and Mikala Session. They're two keyboardists and a drummer, longtime music friends, hailing out of a bunch of different areas in Los Angeles. Shout out California, shout out to Los Angeles.
Hey.
I guess Diego is a jazz-trained pianist. Jesse Justice honed his chops making beats before trading his MPC for a Fender Rhodes. And Mikala Session was raised in the legendary Leimert Park, home of the Project Blowed and so many legends. He studied under Billy Higgins and also leads the Pan-African People's Orchestra. Shout out to all my Pan-Africans. This podcast is a Pan-African Socialist podcast. This show is we rep
Pan-African Socialist show.
Shout out to all of our comrades in that. So essentially, this is almost coming. This is perhaps more towards a jazz album than it is your boom bap hip hop rapidy raps, and I'm here for it because my second favorite genre of music is jazz. Were you familiar with Human Error Club before?
Yes. I believe I found out about them on Reddit. I don't normally go to Reddit for music recommendations, but I believe it was like the Neo Jazz subreddit or something. And somebody was like, "Yo, why doesn't anybody talk about Human Error Club? Like, they're great." And I was like, sure, I'll check it out. And this was a couple years ago. I think this was Heck Yeah, which was their previous release from 2022. And I was like fully on board. I was like, this is tight. And then I kind of forgot about them. So the sudden appearance on Backwards with a Kenny Segal collaboration and a whole host of our favorite MCs was like a really pleasant surprise when Barun Chanda, one of our day ones, was like, Barun. "Yo, you should get on this. You should talk about this." Also, this is like their first non-strictly instrumental album. Everything you've heard on this so far has been instrumental. There's a number of MCs that feature on this, but all of their previous works have been instrumental.
That's
so
right.
That's also a kind of change of pace.
I think I picked up on them as I was kind of, I want to say like a decade ago, the Los Angeles jazz scene started coming a little bit more into the forefront of my perception. Guys like Sam Gendel, and also you have like legends on this album like Shabaka Hutchins and Shabaka and the Ancestors. So there's been this like incredible kind of avant-garde, really like interesting mix of jazz coming out of like Los Angeles, and also I think London holds that down. All of the dope city epicenters, right? And so like this is my sound. This is the type of shit that I like. This is great, especially because over the last few weeks I've heard too much rap, and I was tired of hearing lyrics. And even though this album has a lot of MC features on it, every moment shines. It's like some of my favorite moments on the album are just the joints without lyrics, so to speak. But the lyrics do break it up in a wonderful way, and also we've got some of the greatest artists on this album of all time. Quelle Chris, Cavalier, Elucid, K the I, Pink Sifu, More Mother, and Woods, Billy Woods. I think that's all of the MC features, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yes.
But I'm coming into this one without any notes. I didn't make any notes on this album, which is like unusual for me, and I always like to say that here because I feel a little bit naked when I don't make notes.
Little jazz improv review for you guys.
let's put it out there, a little immediacy for you. But yeah, the album. First, I'll just start with like some of the things that they're doing. I lack the kind of vocabulary and understanding of musical theory to describe exactly how fucking crazy and funky and fresh and wild some of these production choices are and the things that they're doing. But it is an interesting ride all the way through. And I know that a lot of listeners that are familiar with jazz, they might be thinking like, oh, jazz and hip hop kind of fusion. It's going to sound like
jazzmatazz
or hip hop beats played by jazz musicians, not necessarily even your like, kind of like Avondale Bowling Club, who's wonderful as well, but or even like a roots album type of thing.
Sure,
their live shows they probably improv more. There's probably little solo sessions and things like that, but typically it's like steady drums, bass, melody, like all of these things, and it's like a hip hop beat played by jazz musicians. And I think that this album is not that. This album is strange and just as kind of varied and interesting as anything you'd get from Kenny Segal or anything you'd get from Human Error Club. And their combination together makes this joint just... I'm jamming to it all the time.
This album took me... I mean, obviously there's all of these MCs and the backwards connection, but a lot of this album really took me back to like circa 2010 UK like minimalist electronica.
Okay.
There was a lot of there was a record that came out, I want to say 2013 maybe, which didn't really get any kind of play or much love in the underground, but there was this record, Living Leaving, by an artist called Tom Buggs, who ran the Bug brand synthesizer. They were like a synthesizer. They built all these analog synths. And a lot of the sonic textures that you see on this record, just kind of very deep kick drum oriented rhythms supplemented by these like analog synthesizers that don't usually stick to like a single groove for too long. You usually have like this one sonic thing. I think it's on YouTube. Like you can check out this Living Leaving I think from Tom Buggs. I strongly recommend it. Similar kind of vibe.
Have to look into that.
But yeah, this kind of and so the last Human Error Club, I believe it was Heck Yeah, the last one, had a bit more of a dance element to it than this one does. This one's a little jazzier, and then it's got, of course, that hip hop element to it as well. But I do think there's a bit of a sort of like a tech house influence that you can see in some of Human Error Club's work. So I think there is a lineage there.
Word. Again, I lack
Chicago,
vocabulary, but yeah, this one, it kind of reminds me of the things that I really got into, like as I'm a 42-year-old person, and when I was younger, like the first kind of things that jazz I got into were my dad's favorite, all the classics, Ahmad Jamal type of stuff. And I think it was like Alec Empire, like hyper modern jazz,
right,
where I was like, oh, jazz can be like electronica and like weirder. And I grew up really appreciating that early era of kind of beat makers in the beat scene before the beat scene was there. Your Daedalus, who was trained as a jazz musician. So in a lot of his work, the drumming would not be, it would be different. The time signatures would be different. Or early Flylo, Prefuse, and things like that. And this album gives me a little bit of that sensibility, however, kind of projecting it forward and more into the musicianship of it, like the collaboration between all of these sonic qualities. And that's one of the things that I really like about the underground scene nowadays. Like we have these three players and also Kenny, who have their particular style, and they bring that together and they combine it and they create these new interesting amalgams. When you get Aquele Chris together with Pink Sifu, those are also two jazz men basically, except for their instruments or their voices and their styles and their approach to things. And this album just is a lot of what I love about Daedalus and Bus Driver and Radioactive, but here in a modern contemporary way that is unlike it. Despite making the comparisons, every single one of these tracks is like brand new for me in a way. It's like there's something, obviously they're using instruments and shit, but everything on this album is so funky and new from track to track. That song that I was just playing, Frogtown with Shabaka, I must have played that like, I don't know, 40 times this week because I just love it.
That's an interesting one, especially because I feel like Shabaka's presence on that track kind of disrupts the, I don't want to say monotony because that's not quite what I'm going for, but in the same way that MCs on this record provide that extra layer of dimension that prevents it from being three musicians on three instruments jamming or across two instruments technically, across the full 40 odd minute runtime of the record. This kind of presence of wind instrumentation just provides this extra layer of texture that kind of breaks it up and provides an extra twist.
Yeah, it's like a new flavor. It's like a new ingredient to it, and it's amazing. And what is also interesting is that the production on this album, while each track is very, very strange and different, the songs that the MCs are rapping over are not your conventional joints, and you get that. Like, this is the track Nighttime with Elucid on it, and Elucid's last album, Revelator, was full of these songs that were not so conventional for rap use, so to speak, but they twisted and they turn it. Dragon Curve with KDI, also another example of that. The one that is like even with Pink Sifu and his album this year, Black Antique, maybe the album of the year for me. The first half of that album is it is just blows my, like, sometimes I put it on and I grow a single wing, like I'm ready to take off. Like it's amazing. And I don't really know how to explain this anymore to other people, but this is definitely one that you should check out. It's definitely one that people should pay attention to. And I think this is also a great starting place for a fan who is not too familiar with jazz and the potential and the possibilities for jazz to be young, hip, powerful, and explosive, because this album is not your dad's. Definitely not my dad. Maybe, I don't know. Your dad's cool.
My dad might fuck with it.
Your dad is definitely going to fuck with something like this. But this is not coffee shop bullshit. This is not fucking easy listening, fucking chilled out algorithm AI playlist type of shit. This is amazing.
And it's unpredictable, and it has like a pretty wide variety in terms of its sonic palette that kind of keeps you guessing the whole time, even when it's beautiful, like on the track Jocelyn, which you just started coincidentally. there's like a discomfort that also kind of permeates through it. There's like a slight detuning on the synthesizers or something, and it's got this like very sparkly and clean quality to it, you know, this kind of Rhodes sound. But at the same time, like, I don't know if it's like the reverb on the patch that they're using or whatever, but like it does just lend it like a little bit of tension that you won't see on the algorithmically created chill coffee shop jazz that
the session player comes in, they're like, make it sound simple,
right?
And that's another wonderful quality of the album, is that every single track has kind of its own atmosphere. It creates its own space, and nothing sounds similar. There is kind of a homogenous aspect of it because they're, you know, using the similar instruments, and it's all four guys, throughout the thing. But every single track kind of twists and turns and changes. Jocelyn is a great breather after that Elucid track, right before we get into Dragon Curve,
which has K the Eye doing K the Eye over
fucking bombs,
just bombing.
Yeah, I meant to hit him and be like, "You're fucking amazing again. You're amazing." Yeah, but this is the one. This is incredible. And I you know, Jed and I, we have kind of began, since we started, more and more disabusing ourselves of ranking albums at the end of the year, despite a lot of people doing that. And I wonder exactly where an album like this would fit for a lot of people on a rap list, because it's not really a rap album. You know, it's not really a I mean, anything is hip hop. You know, any and everything can be hip hop. That's one of the magical, radical elements of it. But for me, every single track on this would, if I was to do like a 1 to 5 star, every single track except for the intro gets a 5. And the intro is just because it's like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? It's like, but even that is fucking hard. But every single track on this would get a 5. So it's almost like a perfect album for me. However, like, how do you quantify or you know, create some type of system that would allow you to do that? And I think that that's good that we disabuse ourselves from that. But take our word for it. I think Jed and I are in total agreement here. One of the best listens of the year. Not surprised it's on Backwoods. I wouldn't be surprised if it was on, you know, Still Tip Doves, Fuse Arrow shit. Like, there's so many good outlets right now who are putting out this work. And tap in, pay attention, because
this album really, really wouldn't be out of place out here, actually. I feel here in Japan, like, there's so many artists that are coming along doing this kind of you know, jazz rooted experimentation that is distinctly
Aaron
jazz, but also
shit.
Aaron Chulai,
our fucking, you know, friend of the show, homie
Gal
of the
Job
house,
Step Club, Wozniak, Manami Kakudo,
Mark
Key,
DeClivelo,
Laos Boob, like Mike, exactly, Mark DeClivelo. Like, you have a very, very broad range of artists that I think are kind of pushing the envelope and that, like, you see live. And I don't know if Human Error Club have been here before. If they have, I deeply regret missing them. But definitely like an artist that you would absolutely find in a basement, just absolutely doing life-changing stuff in
I love my MCs coming out here, but if they come out here, I'm fucking first in line for the tickets.
Dibs DJing that show.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Let me get on there. But so many good tracks on this. Orange Tree, with Sifu. The center with More Mother and Woods is also as powerful as anything you'll hear. More Mother and Woods on there. Always bring it. What were some of your favorite joints on this?
I would go with Dumplings. Let's go with Dragon Curve and The Center.
I really love Ooh What's That, because people know that I'm a tremendous Cavalier
truther.
I've been championing the dude for you know, the better part, like over a decade at this point, and
incredible.
I'm seeing you know, with his releases, his subsequent releases after a different type of time, and all the work he's been doing with Quelle, like that shit is tight. Where he's talking about putting on the Fruit of Islam suits, show up in the Fruit of Islam suits. That joint is amazing. My favorite song on the album is probably Frogtown. I just love their combination with Shabaka on that. I love how weird, and it like something about this album makes me feel like it kind of brings me to my old b-boy sensibilities. Explosive body gestures. I don't know how to dance to this, but when I'm walking through, it's just all over the place and I feel empowered by it. And then I would probably say Dragon Curve or Yeah, because those are both tremendous and phenomenal.
Yeah.
Also, Lights On at the Club with, I think there's another player named John GK on that.
That's right.
Lights On at the Club is fire. That's a great end piece. And yeah, this album is not hecking around. This is fucking amazing. So tap in, right? They should do that. They should probably tap in.
They should heckin' tap in.
Yeah, tap in. And I've been in a shambles all this week. Rest in peace, D'Angelo. One of the most brilliant, incredible artists.
One of a kind.
I was to go on a tangent. I don't mind going on a tangent.
Yeah.
I was realizing how much nostalgia I have for D'Angelo throughout different eras of my life. Like I was listening to my sisters play D'Angelo in like 95. Like that's what's playing on Tuesday night at my sister's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I'm watching those videos. I'm listening to that even before I really wanted to get into. I was a Wu-Tang head. I was a hieroglyphics kid. But then in the 2000s, there's the kind of this Soulquarian explosion, and then with the Vanguard, oh my god, I was like, it took so long, and I've been listening to the Charade and watching all the live performances of it, and I was just playing like the the intro, how it's just like kind of like strumming and middling, and then it. Oh my God, D'Angelo! What a tremendous loss for the world. Just fucking cancer, man.
It's strange. I've been kind of revisiting. I had been revisiting that kind of Soulquarians era quite a lot recently. Like maybe like a month ago, I was in a secondhand store and I just picked up a couple like CDs for a few $100, like just some classics, some stuff I didn't own on CD. I had picked up like a Donald Fagen, The Night Fly, which is an incredible record, and then Danny Brown, Atrocity Exhibition, didn't own that on CD.
One of the best.
And Voodoo, I had also picked up. So I'd been listening to those, and then the incredible, world-changing Asata Shakur had passed away a couple of weeks ago, so I threw on like Water for Chocolate, thinking of Asata. So then
Also
that put me down
that
rabbit hole, and I'd been listening to a lot of this stuff. So when I woke up the other day and I saw these tributes pouring out, I'd just woken up. I thought I was having a dream. I wasn't sure if I'd woken up.
Isn't that the worst shit about waking up like in the morning time when it's night?
When you're on like a different time zone to everybody else, and you wake up and it's like everyone's already there saying like, rest in peace,
right.
like, and
you're in the future, but also in the past. Like,
right.
It's just like the day later. Yeah, it's tough out here in Tokyo sometimes, but that was not great news to wake up to. I get that shit all the time too. It's like every time something happens, like you wake up to, it's like, oh, Prodigy. Yeah. Anywho, man, Secret House again. Shout out to the patrons. Shout out to our new patron, Chris.
Hey,
see you over there. We're here. I kind of feel okay about freestyling this episode. I might have to just start freestyling more. But yeah, it's the drum. It's the drums that make me get on my b-boy shit. Like, it's not like something about hyperkinetic drumming is just, it speaks to me when it, like, listen to that. Don't fuck with me when I'm listening to this. This is just, I'm unstoppable, invincible. When I'm listening to this. This is the shit. Yeah. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I'm gonna eat sushi soon. A couple hours. Happy birthday, Deza. Happy birthday, Cannon. My daughter turned 10. Yeah, we out here. Secret House against.
Secret House.